Okay, I'm adding you. See if it works.
Oh my gosh!
All right, so I didn't see a description, so we're gonna just have to do like a pinned comment thingy.
Okay. I don't know how to do that, but yeah.
Do it from the actual
Oh, cute. Yes, hair.
uh what?
I said your hair looks adorable. Can you hear me?
Thank you. I when I'm talking and you start talking, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Trying to move this bang over before I cut it in the middle of our show.
It's so hard to grow bangs out.
I know, and it's sad because it's like one bad emotional day, and you're like, I want to cut my hair, and it's just because you're going through something, and then you can never grow them back. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So
Can you hear me?
you get this on
Thank
the
you.
page.
When I'm talking and you start talking, I can't hear you. Oh, okay. So
Can you hear me
okay. No, it's my. I got it.
now? Oh.
I didn't mute it yet. Yeah, crystal holy boobs.
They're actually quite sealed. They were worse.
So we just type a comment and then you can pin it to the top. Yeah, pin comment from the PC anyway.
Hold on. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so I got that. Wonderful. And I need share this beloved best. What are you sipping on this evening?
I'm doing Jack Daniel's shots and Coke Zero chasers.
So now that I'm trying to share this video, it's being an idiot. Hold on.
I'm able to share.
Okay. Okay, so let's see if that works. Okay, so okay.
We're like a half an hour late. We're so punctual.
Yeah, but Facebook was really being a butthole, so that really isn't our fault. I mean, maybe a smidgen, but it really isn't our fault. Facebook was being a jerk. We need to figure out why it was, like, what the difference is between allowing me to invite you and you inviting me.
I don't know. Maybe something's just wrong with your end for some reason.
Because I definitely did it like 8 times and it did not go through. Okay, let me see. Let me do a couple more shares and then I'm done.
What are you drinking? Is that wine?
I have a Sauvignon. Wait, what is it called?
Ooh.
Cabernet Sauvignon. I lost my brain right now. And it makes me laugh because it makes me think of Michael Scott. I know you don't watch The Office and you need to get your life together and start watching it. But he talks about how he knows his wines and he's a wine connoisseur and he's like, this is a red. And he talks about how it has a lovely oaky afterbirth. So, wine doesn't have an afterbirth, but it's pretty hilarious.
Well, this has a horrible aftertaste. So we have chasers for that.
Is it the
Cheers.
diet aspect of it?
What?
Is it the diet aspect of it?
That
There's
I'm
diet,
drinking.
right? Didn't you mix something diet in it?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you mixed
No,
up
I'm
something.
drinking Coke Zero as a chaser.
Oh, Coke Zeros. Okay, but
I'm not having anything mixed or anything like too much to drink this time because last time I peed like 20 times during the live and that was ridiculous.
well, that's part of our drinking game. Every time you get up to pee, you take a shot. So, learn about that.
That's another thing. You gotta type out a description and do the drinking game rules and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yes. We need to post those in the comments because I keep forgetting.
Hair looks so totally 80s.
Your hair? I love it. That's exactly what this is, Gregory, because the blood of Christ compels us all. Why is this not letting me see the comments on here? It's not letting me see the comments on my phone, so I'm gonna
Well,
see
that's why I watch from the computer so that I don't have to watch, like, try to see everybody's comments going by. It's easier from the computer. Yeah, I just watch from the computer.
Wait, who's watching on a computer?
Me, I watch from the computer. What are you talking about?
I watch from the computer too, but it's super delayed. The line is on the wrong. It's really delayed when I do it on mine. So, I don't get it.
Yes, Misty, the phones are sideways. Just wear a diaper? No. I should maybe. Maybe I should do that. So remember we were talking about looking for my bear skin baby blanket or bear fur? Well, I found it.
Yeah.
And in that box,
Where,
I also found,
where was its location?
in the basement. But in that same box, I found a very old book.
I remember that. I remember you having that book. That is hilarious.
When we first started ghost hunting, my cousin bought us these books.
Okay, so I'm confused.
And like, I've read it. Never.
Never.
Never read it.
Frank, can you come here? Donna, do you have is it playing sound anywhere from your house, from our stream?
No, I got the sound off.
I have it off too, but it's playing. I can hear it. But it's muted on my computer. Sonny, can you come out here and get this?
Is he just messing with you? Is he watching it from another room?
Another room? No. It's coming through his computer, but it's muted.
Oh.
Can you hear it?
Well, now I hear it, yeah.
Sonny.
Are you sure it's muted?
Yes. It is completely muted.
It's a ghost.
I'm telling you. We need to talk about what happened last night with our dreams. Okay.
Yeah, like it's so, now it's just, I barely remember anything about it, but we had to have been connected somehow. That's weird.
I was telling Alyssa this morning, I was messaging her. Alyssa, I don't know if you're still watching, but I was messaging Alyssa and telling her about how I woke up this morning. It was like 4 a.m. and I had to be dreaming. I was laying, I felt like something.
You're cutting out because of the sound from the background.
Oh my God. Hold on.
We're going to get there one day. Bear with us.
I know you can. Why are you doing that to me? Let me see.
What?
I don't know what's happening. I really don't. You can hear, isn't that crazy? Okay. Hold on. Is it working? Is it working?
It's still.
I don't hear anything. Can you hear anything?
No, not as of now.
Okay. The ghost left. Okay. So
I'm completely awkward like all the time, Angela.
I was laying in bed and I felt somebody sit down behind me on the bed. And when I was laying down and I looked over and it looked like the like a black silhouette of like a back and shoulders, neck and head. And then the head turned to look at me and it was like blipping. It was like glitching, like it just kept going like really fast. Like the head was just moving really fast and it was a black mouth hole and black eye holes. And that's it. There were no other features, but it just kept like glitching. And then it like swooped down on my face and I couldn't go back to bed. But in my dream, like right after that, I had a dream. After the dream, I couldn't go back to bed. I had a dream that I was with a guy and a girl, and the guy and the girl were together, but I couldn't tell who they were. And that's basically all I remember. We were in a haunted house, but it was kind of like a hotel.
And it was weird when you texted me that because I vaguely remember my dream last night that I was with you and some dude, I have no idea who it was, and we were in a haunted house and like weird things were happening, like
I don't understand.
Faucets were turning on and things were being thrown. But
it was so weird that you were dreaming.
After I woke up, I barely remember. It's kind of weird that we kind of had like the same sort of dream, and it was probably me in your dream. But you would think that I would stick out a little bit if you saw me in your dream.
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't remember seeing a face on the girl, but I knew that she was with whoever the guy was. But I can't picture his face either. They were just there. Like I just knew that they were there, but I couldn't tell who they were. All right, so let me type up the drinking rules really quick.
All right, I will show something, I guess. I did find the bear fur blanket. It fell apart. I have to get it fixed. The Care Bear backing came off of the fur. Here's Care Bears.
Oh, I love that.
Here's the gorgeous fur.
Is it the softest?
It's so soft. I was told it's bear fur, but I could be wrong. Could be me. I wouldn't know. I'm not an expert. But the furrier, my dad worked before made it for me when I was a babe.
And that was in New York, when he was in New York?
Yeah. Along with a fur coat that they make for, or used to make for Cabbage Patch dolls. I wore it a couple of times when I was itty bitty.
You was a fancy baby.
I was fancy for a minute.
Fancy.
And then also in that same box, I found like probably an eighth of all the notes that were passed through high school. I haven't pulled any out yet and read them, so I'm sure there's one in here from you. There's got to be. There's so many.
If it is, I was rude. I'm sure I was rude. Rude to anybody. I was going to bring your presents of the skull of the jaw and the skull of the cat from my car. I'm pretty sure they've been haunting my car. They're in my car.
You left them in there?
Yeah, they're in my trunk. I need to bring them in.
You gotta put those in peroxide before you get bugs everywhere.
Well, there's no more bugs. I think they escaped in my car. But, yeah, I was going to do that today and I forgot. But I'm pretty sure the cat skull is haunting my car because I keep hearing random meowing. So I don't know if what the skull, if I picked it up and just brought the little friend with it and now it's just living in my car for all of eternity, or if there's just randomly, if I'm just noticing stray cats meowing all over the place now. Either way, I'm hearing meowing that I was not hearing before. All right, I think we're shared good. I think we shared to all the places we could ever share.
Man, I was a mean girl in high school. Even though you wouldn't have thought so.
I don't remember you being mean.
I was mean in notes, apparently.
Oh.
The majority of these notes are going to be from Jen and Amanda. Okay, I'm having high school nostalgia over here, and this was like 15 years ago now. Lord. I gotta put this away before I start
I had one last share that I had to do. I used to have notes from high school. I had like a box that I took everything everywhere, and I brought it with me to Pennsylvania, and it had like an ink scrapbook that I made from when I was, I don't know, like 13 to, we're not discussing how far it went, but like it started when I was 13, and it had like all these pictures of NSYNC, and it had notes from high school. I think I had my yearbooks, like all my high school stuff I kept in my trunk in my Lancer, and when I moved to Pennsylvania, I left it all.
That sucks. I had a lot more notes than that too, but a lot of them just got thrown away. I didn't usually keep them all.
Yeah.
I had way more than that though before I moved up here.
Yeah, I only have the two that I really like. Two that I actually cared about, and I will never see them ever again. So that's kind of depressing. But that's okay.
Well, we also have a giveaway going on in Handmade Oddities.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to type that in there.
You could edit your comment, I think.
Can I edit the name of the video?
No, you can edit your pinned comment to add the link. It's okay. I'll just post it.
Okay. Because I definitely...
Anyways, $10 oddities cash to spend in the sale.
What the flip? Okay, I think I got it. The struggle is so real this day, I swear. I swear it on my life. It is the realest. All these technical difficulties. I think we just need to get a studio.
Yeah.
Let's win the lotto and get a studio, and we can do our own podcast and live stream, and we'll never have issues like this ever again.
Ever. Okay. Here's a link to the group if you want to join it and try to win some oddities cash to spend in the sale.
Y'all have cool stuff in that group. I pay attention to quite a few of the sales, and y'all got some awesome stuff in there. When are you doing the Beetlejuice thing?
Huh?
When is the Beetlejuice sale going to be?
Oh, Tim Burton sale is sometime in the middle of the month, I think.
Okay.
Let me look.
And you're going to have stuff from like all the Tim Burton movies? Okay, this idiot.
Personally, I've got mostly inspired stuff. I might try to paint a sandworm before then on a coffin canvas. I'm going to try to. I really want to do it, but I haven't gotten motivated enough to paint.
Mm.
But I do have a few things that I don't want to bust out just yet. I wanted to wait for the sale.
Did you may have known this. I didn't realize this until a few days ago that movie we were talking about before, the Return to Oz movie. Did you know Disney made that?
Did they?
That
Well,
was a
it
Disney.
really doesn't surprise me though.
But
They've
back
made
then,
great.
it was like 1989, and I was like, when I read that, I was like, okay, so the first movie that ever terrified me of my life was a Disney movie.
I do have
And
to watch that again.
I'll send you my login for the my Fandango Now account, because I have it and it's amazing. And I also didn't know that Firuza Balk was Dorothy. Did you know that?
For who?
Firuza Balk.
I'm not good with names.
She was in The Craft. She was the girl with the short hair in The Craft that was like the crazy.
Oh,
That was Dorothy.
you know, I was looking at her page the other day, not her page, but just like something or other of hers, and like looking at the stuff, and I didn't even notice that. Like I was looking at her movie history, and I guess I just passed that up and didn't notice it.
Yeah. Yeah, she was Dorothy. I was like, what? That's my best. And I've always loved her in The Craft. And then when I figured out it was her, I was like, oh my God. So Disney set her up to be in horror films.
Yes, they did. You got a big mouth.
She does. And I think that's why I love her, because it's just for days. She can scream so well. And she looks so crazy. But I think that's why she was so great in that role, because she just looks crazy.
So the next thing that we have coming up is the 5K sale, because we're going to be up to 5K members soon in Handmade Oddities.
Nice.
So we're doing a big sale with a giveaway. And then the Tim Burton sale is the 23rd.
Okay. We need
and those of you that don't know, Coraline was not made by him, so no Coraline will be in this sale.
Coraline scares me to death.
I love
more
that.
That is like my worst. That seriously is like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life. As a full-grown adult, when that movie came out, I could not sleep for days without the lights on in my room. I'm not even, because the button eyeballs freaked me out so bad. I was like, I definitely can't do this. The Other Mother, I just knew she was coming to get me. I knew it. She was coming to get me in my sleep.
Did we get approved into hauntings?
I didn't get a response for it yet. Let me check. I'll look at the page and see. But I surely didn't get a notification, so I don't think we did. No. Mm-mm.
Try again. Because that's where we're going to get most of our hits. Anyway, bottoms up.
Sipsies! Where did the page go?
Oh, I see in your drinking rules that everybody has to take a shot now.
Everybody take a sipsy.
Don't worry, it's not going to happen too often. I got to be spry in the morning.
Okay, so let me share it again, because it's not working. Why does it feel like the hottest of the sun is in my living room? It is so hot in here.
Because you're drinking and you're wearing a sweater.
It's the thinliest. It's not even a sweater. It's thin. It is super thin. I'm just sweating my life. Okay. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just pulled up like a coding. Okay.
What?
Okay. It's being sent for approval for the second time, so let's see if they do anything with it. Okay. So, what all did you watch for interviews and videos on YouTube about Ed and Lorraine? Like, what did you learn about these people?
That a lot of people think they're fakes.
I read that too. I was surprised. I mean, I kind of believe, all the stuff they say, and like, especially the family. What's her name? Andrea Perrin that was the oldest sister from the farmhouse. Excuse me. Oh, I burped. You have to take a shot.
I'll take a big shot.
Yeah, anytime I burp or anytime you burp, someone has to take a shot. That's the rule. One of the 4 rules that we've established, which is not very many, so you're very lucky every day, every sip, to not have to take so many. But 4 rules, everyone take a sip. And we said Lorraine. Greg caught that one, so that's another
And you
sip.
just said it again.
I said it again. So sip up, y'all. Tippings.
I'm going to die before the end of this.
Well, seeing as how it's pretty much 10 o'clock.
I should have made a mixed drink.
You still can. Go get your Coke.
I've got the Coke. I'm just using it as a chaser.
Oh.
Here, I'll make a tiny mixed drink in my shot glass. Watch this.
Or just dump it into your can.
There's not enough. Well, okay.
5th.
Okay.
Misty said crack a 5th. Just do that.
What did she say?
She said crack a 5th.
No, what is a 5th? I don't even know what a 5th is. Sorry.
She's not an alcoholic. Only alkies know what 5ths are. No, the 5ths
I always hear about it, but I don't know.
No, seriously, the alcoholics can take like $2.99 and go get a cheap 5th from like ABC. That's when they'd be like, "Can I get a 5th of that?" Like the cheapest that has like a Russian vodka with the cheapest name ever. Or not cheapest name, but the cheapest price. And like
I would think that it's like disguised as something, right? Not just being cheap.
Well, no, if it's only $2.99.
I don't know.
If it's only $2.99, then.
Anyway, so we're here to talk about Lorraine and Ed Warren. Take a shot.
Or a sip.
Or a sip.
Or a sip.
But yeah, I watched something on YouTube today because you know me, I don't research crap. During the week, I don't do my homework. So I watched something, and I watched something from when they did the case with the haunting in Connecticut that they based that movie on. And people were like, "Oh, nothing ever actually happened there. Y'all are just making up because you couldn't pay your rent. You wanted the publicity."
That family.
Huh?
The Snedeker family.
So that's one of the things that I watched. And then I saw one of the walkthroughs with their museum that they have in Connecticut. And I was like, we need to go there when you come up here in October. But they're closed because of zoning laws.
Yeah.
So we can't go.
I did a smidgen, the tiniest research on the haunting in Connecticut. And that took place back in 1986, which I didn't realize it was that long ago. I thought it was more recent than that. But apparently it was a mortuary, and the family didn't know that. Like, they found out after the fact, after they bought it, that that's what they realized, that it had like that equipment and stuff in the basement. But like, they claimed some of the stuff that they portrayed in the movie was actually like based on what they experienced in the house. Not all of it was, but unlike the Conjuring, that one was supposedly like pretty true to what happened. Like, they had to tone it down a bunch, but this one was kind of like
that's
loose.
another interview that I saw of the lady who wrote the book.
But like the mom, I think her name was Carmen Snedger, she said that they always heard strange sounds and the temperature would change frequently throughout the house. The spirits were really powerful. One of them was thin and had high cheekbones and long black hair and pitch black eyes. And there was another one that had white hair and white hair and white eyes. And they always wore a pinstripe tuxedo and his feet were constantly moving. So he's like always on the go. Carmen said one time she was mopping the basement floor and the water turned red like blood. She said the dishes used to put themselves away and the lights would constantly flicker. Even once they took out the light bulbs, they would flicker.
Let me get the ghost that puts dishes away, please.
That's what I'm saying.
I need it.
One of the younger sons was spun around on a gurney and they couldn't get him off. Like, he was flung from it. And they would always find like toe tags and head tags throughout the house, like in random spots. So they also believed, the researchers of this case like believed that the funeral workers were guilty of necrophilia. And they felt like that might be why it was so like haunted. All that angry that was taking place on behalf of the funeral workers. Now, I don't remember watching that movie. I don't think I saw that. But I did try watching.
I did watch The Conjuring. It's pretty good.
I've seen it, but it's been a while. I haven't watched it in a while. I started watching it.
They've got like 3 or 5 of them now. I can't remember, but I need to watch them all again. It's been a while. Apparently,
it's like a 17 movie series. Like, they all are based around kind of like what happened to the Perron family. Like, supposedly, like the Annabelle films, I guess they're linked into The Conjuring. And The Nun, that movie, The Nun, it's linked into it. There's supposedly like 17 movies that they're making that all tie into.
I haven't seen The Nun yet.
You haven't?
No.
That one was.
I'm sure there's a lot of them that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. I was also reading, there were so many different cases, like so many like popular cases that they had. But the ones that I got the most information about that I like dove into was the Perron family, because so much happened. And the oldest sister, she wrote 3 books, and I'm gonna get them in them because they sound interesting. There's only so much that she's willing to tell in interviews and stuff. Like, she just kept putting in like her interviews, you have to buy the book, which I get it. They want to make money, but I'm trying to find out what happened right now. I'm trying to wait on your book. But I have a lot of like experiences, if you want me to go through those, like different documented things that happened to them in that house.
Go for it.
So a little smidgen of a background on it was that in 1971, the Warrens claimed that the Harrisville, Rhode Island home of the Perron family was haunted by a witch who lived there in the early 19th century. According to Ed and Lorraine Warren, we said Lorraine, so sip up. The witch cursed the land so that whoever lived there somehow died a terrible death. The story is the subject of the 2013 film The Conjuring. So, what's weird, like the first thing that I thought was kind of strange, like the sister talks about how the mom was like the focus of like all the hauntings. Like whatever reason, the spirits really drew after the mom. Well, when she bought the house, her husband wasn't there. Like, she basically signed and put down the deposit for the house without his, like, seeing it, approving it, having any, like, part of it at all. She just did it and was like, hey, I got us a house. Well, the owner of the house now that bought it from the parents, the woman did the same thing. Like, when she found the house, she bought it without her husband's knowledge, put the deposit down and everything. Like, there's a lot of similarities between that lady.
From the movie's point of view, it seemed kind of like she bought it without him not seeing it, because they were always like kind of moving, and he was a truck driver, so he wasn't always there.
Yeah.
Like, he was always on the road, so that, I don't know.
But they were saying that the new owner did the same thing. Like, she didn't know what happened with the other doing the exact same thing. It's just weird how their circumstances were similar like that. Okay, so the majority of, actually all of the information that I got was from Andrea. A lot of the other sisters, there were 5 of them, they didn't really, not all of them are as open as Andrea is. I know Christine, I think she's the middle sister, she had one of the more like horrifying experiences, and she won't talk about it. And when Andrea was writing the book, it took years for her sister to like open up and tell her what happened. Like, she would never talk about it. So I don't really have any experiences from her, but I have a bunch from the point of view of Andrea. She says, when we first moved into the house, we were carrying some boxes and we saw a man. We thought it was someone from the family that was helping us move in, but they had all left and he was still there. He vaporized in front of my sister Nancy. I never saw him vaporize. I just saw him as a full body apparition. I thought he was a full mortal being. It never occurred to any of us, including our parents, that we were moving into a haunted house. Although when the other moved out, the man of the home warned my father to never turn off the lights. We thought that was strange.
That is strange.
Lorraine saw the man. Take a sip.
Oh, Sunny posted a picture for something.
What is this picture?
A picture taken by Ed at the Amityville house.
I don't like that boy's white eyeballs. Don't do me like that.
That is kind of weird.
But why are they white? Why are they white, all whited out like that? Like,
I mean, it's an old camera. Probably something to do with the camera.
That's creepy. Andrea said there was a spirit of a little girl who would come and visit my sister Cindy a lot. She would just pass through her room. There was another child ghost that Cindy saw, and we believed was one of the ones that played with her toys. She called him Oliver. She had this toy called the Close and Play. It played records. When it was opened, you put the record in, you closed it, and the record would play the song. The record that she played repeatedly was My Sweet Lord by George Harrison, and the spirits didn't like it. They broke the Close and Play and ruined her record, so she couldn't play it anymore. Well, that's kind of weird.
So you said you didn't see the first Conjuring?
I did. I saw it a long, long time ago. And then I started watching it again recently. And I got to the part where the mom was playing hide and clap. And the ghost arms stuck out of the closet and clapped. And she went to go feel around for it.
Yeah.
Thinking of her daughter. That's where I said, I'm going to come back to this in about never.
I guess that's what the that music player thingy that she had.
The Close and Play.
Yeah, the Close and Play. I guess that's what they were basing that thing off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Sunny, yeah, we did watch it together, and it was many moons ago when we watched it. And then I tried to rewatch it to get, like, refamiliarized with what happened at that house. And I just could not. I couldn't do it. I needed a break. Cindy had a Little People set that was popular in the 70s, and she would play with it upstairs. And when she would come downstairs for something and then go back up, the toys would be moved in other positions or shoved under her bed.
I had little people, like the original ones from the 70s.
With like the barn and...
I didn't have the barn. I had a dollhouse looking one. It was my cousin's, and he passed it on to me, but I don't even know where it is now.
Alice had so many of them. We gave them to Maya and Gracie, but
these are like the original ones. They looked like little peg dolls back then.
They were wood. Were they wooden or plastic?
Some of them, the older ones, I think, were made of wood, but the ones that I had were plastic. They were still from like the 70s.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I probably had some of those too.
Like if you watch Robot Chicken, you've seen these peg doll little people.
I haven't seen Robot Chicken in forever.
I know, right? Forever.
I haven't watched Swim in forever. It has been
me either. I haven't had cable in like 10 years.
Oh my goodness. Okay. My sister Cindy used to crawl in bed with me and she'd say, Annie, I keep hearing these voices. It's one voice, but it's a lot of voices. But they're all saying the same thing at once. And I would say, honey, what are they saying? And she would say, there are 7 dead soldiers buried in the wall. Apparently there were 8 generations of the same family like that lived there, and they would just keep procreating with one another in an incestual fashion, and as they joined the military they just would come back even if they didn't live there. Like after they died, like they would come back and haunt the place. No thanks. Weird. I don't know why they were down. She says, I was mostly visited by a fog of sorts. There were spirits that would come to me in a figured form, and when I would ask them to leave, they would. We've had encounters since we left the house, and one of them was when we were doing an interview for The Conjuring as a family. We were all in the living room, and this huge wind, about 70 miles per hour, came blowing in and was knocking over cameras and mics and all sorts of things. I looked outside, and there were no trees moving. My sister and I agreed that it was the witch's curse because she doesn't want to be exposed. Well, that night, during the same time frame, my mother fell and broke her hip. When we got to the hospital, the first thing she said to us was that it was the witch's curse. Now, this witch has a name, and I just want to say she who must not be named and treat it like a Voldemort situation and not say that thing. I can't.
Well, I want to know the name now. What is it?
Ugly. I'm not saying it. I will type it.
Type it.
But I'm not saying that
and
thing.
I'll say it 3 times in the mirror.
Do it. At your house.
I will. I've got a little tiny mirror here now too, so I'll do it.
That was her name, and there was more to it, but I don't remember what the other part of it was.
What?
That's her name.
Bathsheba?
Something was going to happen to you. That was that lady. Yes, that is her name. Google it.
Is that how you say it? Bathsheba?
Yeah, that's how you say it.
All right, here we go with the mirror.
Get it.
Bathsheba.
Fall off your shelf. All the books behind you are going to fall off your shelf. Lorraine.
So far, so good.
You're going to do a Candyman situation and just repeat that thing in the mirror?
It's another movie I haven't seen in years.
Candyman? Do like Bloody Mary and Candyman? Yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Andrea said one thing that's always confused us girls was if she was actually a witch. My father thinks that it was the old woman that hung herself in the barn, the one that would appear to them. And the reason he thinks that is because when the entity came the night when we were all there doing the seance, she spoke to my mother and she said, we'll drive ye out with fiery broom. We'll drive ye mad with death and gloom. The time that the witch lived was in the 1800s, and that kind of usage of language had almost passed. The language that this entity was using was older. Also, the entity's head was snapped at the neck, and it looked like a desiccated hornet's nest with vacant eyes, thin lips, and very yellow, jagged teeth.
Gross.
When it had features, that's what it would show.
Misty said that Dirk will come back to life now. Henry
Could
or
you imagine?
Herman.
Could you
Herman,
imagine
right?
if you flew off the wall and tried to like,
Yeah, right.
you know, your hair?
Why do I always forget what his damn name is? What did we name him? Henry? No. Herman?
Nor
Norman. Okay, I gotta remember this. Paranorman. That's his full name. Paranorman.
Paranorman. I burped. Take a shot. The witch died of the doctor called paralysis, and he said it was bizarre because the medical report on her death in 1885 stated, from their perspective, it was like she died of rigor mortis. She died of rigor mortis. He said it was
Wait,
as if her body turned to stone.
the
And
mother?
no, the witch. The woman
Oh, the
that
witch.
was supposedly the witch. They said that that's how she died, of rigor mortis, like she turned to stone.
I see.
No thanks. Another instance was when Cindy was playing upstairs with her little people and the door opened on her closet. She thought that it was one of us sisters coming through the door, but it wasn't. It was an older woman with her head tilted to the side and her arms out, which is the one that the dad thinks could be the woman that hung her. She was wearing a gray dress with little yellow flowers on it, and she had on an apron. She had a handkerchief that she held out. My sister looked at the woman's face for a second, and then she looked down and saw the handkerchief she was holding. She didn't see any feet, so the woman had no feet. So my sister ran through the next bedroom, down the stairs. She was running so fast that she missed the landing in the middle of the stairs. Well, Mom just happened to be coming in from the kitchen, which meets at the bottom of the stairs, and she basically caught her. My sister was hysterical trying to explain what happened, and Mom was more concerned about what happened to her back. And she was like, Mom, I don't care about my back. But our mom just responded with, come to me, little girl. Come to me, little girl. Never. You just disappeared.
I had to grab something. I'm back.
I look away and return, and there was no you.
That's she forgot.
I thought Norman jumped off the wall and choked you. That's what I thought happened. I knew he was coming for you. He got reanimated.
Yeah.
Another scary thing that happened to my sister was when I moved out to go to college. She moved her things into my room thinking that the activity wouldn't be as bad as what she was used to. But after she moved into my room one night, her bed levitated off the floor. She was screaming and screaming for help. And finally, when the bed dropped, she went to my mother and she was furious. She asked my mother, why didn't you come for me? Didn't you hear me screaming? But my mother never heard her. The house had a weird way of muting us when we were screaming. We could be screaming for minutes on the top floor and someone right below us wouldn't hear a sound. That's weird. But like a few of the interviews that I was watching, the sister, I found some good ones from the sister. She was saying that the house was like its own time portal where you would get like stuck in time. And there was one instance, she said that she went to the barn, and when she went into the barn, there was a tree, like a small little tree, like in a planter.
Yeah.
And it was in the corner of the barn. And when she left the barn, it had grown into like a 2-foot tree. Which you and I were talking about. Normally that it says that it's like alien activity whenever there's like time hops like that.
Yeah.
But she said there were different instances at the house like that where where time would progress in a very short amount of time. And that tree was one instance. Like it was a tiny plant. And then when she was leaving, it had grown into like 2 feet of a tree.
That's
She
weird.
said we had a lot of flies. There were bot flies, and there were millions of them. The bot flies are only found around corpses. And when we moved into the house, it was in the middle of winter. We moved in during a snowstorm, and within a day, there were big, fat, black, fuzzy flies, and they were by the thousands. Before she said millions, and then she said thousands. And then my father got obsessed with killing them. We had an exterminator come out twice, but he could not find a breeding place anywhere in the house for them. We were about 5 or 6 months into the house. I had approached my mother and said, Mom, it's time you know what my sisters and I are telling me. And once then when my father came home a day or two later, she sat him down in the kitchen and told him, we've got to talk. You need to know what's happening to your family. It was the first conversation they had together about the spiritual manifestation in the house, and all the flies died at once. It wasn't until we acknowledged what was happening. Mrs. Warren, Lorraine Warren, sip sip, said that you can't really kill what's already dead. They were harbingers of things to come. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. They were announcing to you, the mortals in the house, the presence of the spirits in the house. And when you acknowledged what was happening in the house, their work was done. It seemed like the activity just got worse when my parents would fight. When they would say harsh words to each other, something always seemed to happen to either break it up or spur it on. A bottle from the sideboard would fly across the room. The stereo would turn on or off. Or the music would blare at the top volume.
Mm-mm.
Which that makes sense, because if there's a lot of energy, then I'm sure they're trying to like feed off of the energy that's happening. But that's just some of the stuff that she said happened, and I guess a lot more took place because they lived in 10 years. Like, if I lived in that house and started experiencing those things, like, I would have ran away. Like, I can't.
Yeah, there's no way.
For 10 years. And what they said was that the house, like the plot of land, the fields, the barn, all of it was like heaven, and the house was just like a little dot of hell within heaven, and they loved it. They said some of the spirits were great spirits and would help them and protect them from the bad ones, but when the bad ones came around, it was just like all hell broke loose. To me, that's enough for me to say, bye, I'm leaving. I will go find the Boys and Girls Club, whatever I need to do, live in a box. I would not stay around for that. But they did.
And that seems like the plot to the other one, not the one in Connecticut. They stayed there for so long when they should have left.
It's crazy. Like, but I guess they were saying that the mom, it like clung to the mom. Like the different spirits would like latch onto her, make her do things, and the sisters were saying that they could tell that she was like slipping away from them, and that they struggled with that. And that's when they decided to tell her, you know, this is what's happening to us, because clearly something's happening to you.
Yeah.
And we need to get it taken care of. The new owner of the house, her name is Norma Sutcliffe, and she's had a few incidents. She said that she said that there's common occurrences with footsteps. They hear footsteps a lot. They said that her daughter was in one room, the door open, and then heard footsteps, so she thought someone was there. She looked around and didn't see anybody, but she heard the footsteps. They had a cousin house sit, and the cousin heard the same thing, the door opening and then footsteps. If I look up again and you're not there, I'm going to scream. Every time I think you disappeared, I'm like, oh my gosh. The husband's friend heard it when he came over to visit. The owners heard it as well, the woman. The doors would swing open and slam on their own. They still do that. They just open and close randomly. She's felt the bed vibrate before, just like vibrating on its own. Yeah,
that's something they said that happened to them at the Connecticut place, or haunting in Connecticut.
Do what? They said the same thing happened in that one?
Yeah, they felt their bed like vibrating or some kind of heartbeat thing.
Yeah.
I'm not taking somebody I don't know, Serena. I'm not going to take some random person to Casadega. Misty's like volunteering me to take people places.
You're about to get a tour guide's tip, ma'am. The new homeowner, Matt Lorraine, said the new owner, Matt Lorraine, and Lorraine mentioned about the voices at the same time, hearing the voices that the little girl said she heard. And the owner said that she heard the exact same thing, whispers and a lot of voices, like all at the same time. And she heard the exact same thing that the little girl heard, that there are 7 dead soldiers buried in the wall. Like, that's a very specific.
Uh-oh.
What? What?
You're, you just totally cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you like completely cut off, and maybe your internet.
My internet is fine, honey. But I will say this. On a couple of the interviews that I heard, they were saying that when you talk about it, they lose connection on their phones and the calls. That's what the people said!
They're coming
Gregory,
to the internet.
don't say the name, Gregory. But yeah. Crazy stuff happened at that house. And I can't ever.
Missy said that Paranorman's tail was waving.
Was it? Was it?
My fan is on, so it probably was.
Well, I'm waiting for him to just like crawl up the back of the door and like spider monkey over to the back of your head. I'm just waiting to see him crawl out.
I'm waiting for something to happen too. I need a paranormal experience over here.
Look at his tail. Look at his tail.
He's just chilling.
It's moving.
Because the fan is on.
You better get off the wall and bring him to you.
I will when I take my pee break in a minute.
If he jumps off the wall, I swear to God, I'm throwing my phone and my laptop across the room. You better not. Oh, you better not do it. You better not. There was one I can't attach. A little, Angela. I found, like, I listened to some of her interviews, but some of them are really hard to find. Like, either the video wouldn't play, or I didn't hear how she discovered her abilities. I did read about how she thought that she knew that her husband was like the one for her because they went on a date or something, and then as they said goodnight, he started walking away, but she saw him as an old man. Like, when he was walking away, she saw him as an old man, and she knew that she was going to grow old with him. That's what happened to me and Sunny. I knew from the moment that I got pregnant that we were going to be together forever. I said, "Gotcha, bitch." I'm kidding, Sunny. I'm kidding.
But she sure did jinx herself with that one.
Yes. It was really hard. It really, truly was hard to find information about her, though. Like, I was trying to find, I think I read something about her abilities, but, like, I don't really remember. I remember her saying, like, she could read auras. And I remember her saying that one of, like, the mothers, like, not mother, but, like, one of the, like, sisters of the convent school or whatever she went to, she told her that her light was brighter than, like, Sister Mary, Mother Teresa, whatever the head sister was. And then she got in trouble because I guess she said that, and it looks like the desktop is shaking. But she said that, so I did read that she, like, got in trouble because she was, like, able to see, you know, different auras and stuff, and they didn't, you know. She went to a Catholic girls' school. You're not supposed to be talking about auras and stuff like that. So she...
Yeah, like, everything's pretty much, yeah.
Catholics
are crazy like that.
Yeah. Did you read anything about, I mean, can you enlighten Angie about that? Do you have the secrets of how she obtained her psychic abilities. Because I really couldn't find anything. I was struggling.
Okay, so on that giveaway, we didn't get too many people to comment. But I'll still wait a little bit longer to actually call somebody.
Okay. One of the cases they took, this one, I don't know if this was I don't remember the name of the city. We gotta hunt some more on that one and see if we can find how she got them things, because...
You know, Connecticut's not that far from me, so if anything, in October, we could head over there.
How far away is that from you?
Which one?
Any of them. Any of the Connecticut's.
I don't know. Like, I went to go look where the museum was, and I didn't see, like, the name of a town. I need a town name. Let me see.
I don't know. New England.
New England is pretty much New York and Connecticut and all that up here.
Yeah, it says here New England.
So that's not very specific. That's not specific. Okay, Conjuring. Oh, Conjuring happened in Rhode Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so haunting.
I think this case, I only have like the smidge list information about this one, just the teensiest. But I think it was an infield over the seas and across the moon in the way. But they were saying that they experienced Lorraine with all of the sips, experienced a case of twin sisters in England where they levitated, crisscrossed in the air, and then landed in each other's beds. Lady, crisscross applesauce. My friend lost. I don't believe it. She said one of them was dematerialized for 17 and a half minutes, and then she completely vanished. Everyone was looking for her, and she reappeared in a cabinet that she couldn't have fit in on her own. It was as if she was double jointed. The cabinet was like an electrical box where they kept meters. She was just stuffed inside, and after they got her out, they tried stuffing her back in the box, and there was no way to get her in there. Man.
Okay, so haunting in Connecticut happened in Southington, Connecticut. And that is an hour and a half from me.
An hour and a half? That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. We could take a field trip.
That's where the...
Uh-oh, you got cut off again. Are you there?
That face. I returned.
Yeah, you've returned. You like froze completely. I don't know if it's just from my end or if it's also on their end.
Do y'all see me freezing?
No, it's on their end too. Yeah, it like gives them the gives them a sign that you're not there.
It did that to me last week with you. It did that. You did that same yield sign last week, and I about fell out of this chair.
It must be because I'm posting and you're not, so it's happening to you now.
Maybe.
Guess what?
Yeah,
Pee break. BRB. Be right back.
Get sipsies. Sippings, because she's going to pee, and if anybody donates $200, she's going to take the camera with her. That's what we're doing. Raising a fund, a pee fund, so we can go in with Donna while she has a piss. I don't understand. I do not. They were saying that whenever people talk about it, that stuff happens to the electronics, kind of like that dead zone. I keep looking around. I'm like, But it's okay because we have the safety of this Aquaman. He is here to save all of our blesseds. He is a blessed. And he will save us all from the turmoil. No. We shan't. I'm waiting for the spider monkey to jump off. Shirley. Donna, did you return? Oh. Oh, God. Listen, it froze again.
Good. Paranorman came out.
He will save us all. Won't you, you beloved? He will. He will save us. And so will that, apparently. He will save us also. And it was really watching Lorraine of your sips, watching her interviews like her last ones, it was challenging because it was so sad because she was so elderly and she was just like, it was hard to understand some of the stuff she was saying. It was sad.
Yeah, she was pretty elderly.
Yeah. She was born in 1927 and was with us until 2019. Keep his eyeballs staring. He's giving you the Aquaman glare. The glare of many moons.
Oh, man.
Is the I will go into the dark for you stare. I will do it.
Do we ever get into the hauntings and paranormal whatever?
I don't think they approved it. Nope.
Well, we seem to have a steady 7 viewers at least.
Yeah. The 7 people that are our friends. No one else matters. What is the asylum in West Virginia? What is that?
It's an asylum she goes to sometimes when she goes to West Virginia.
Is it like a tour? A tour?
Yeah.
Of some sort? Allegheny. I have never heard of that, but I will definitely look it up. I need to know about it. Take a sip if she chokes. That was the bonus that we didn't put in there. If Donna chokes, you take a sip.
Ow.
So, did you read anything about that doll, Annabelle?
Vaguely. It's just a run-of-the-mill looking Raggedy Ann doll. Like, it's a huge Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah. What did Angie say? You see, at that time, Lorraine was a psychic, but she didn't believe in ghosts. In fact, she assumed everyone had psychic abilities like her. When she was 9 years old, she was attending a Catholic girls' school called Laurelton Hall in Connecticut that was run by nuns. One day, she's standing in line with some other girls, and she says to a classmate, "Hey, look, Sister Joseph's. Look at Sister Joseph's. Her lights are brighter than Mother Superior's." I know it was a Mother somebody. She was talking about the aura around her body. She didn't know what an aura was at the time, but she could see it. And she thought all the other girls could too. She didn't think she was anything special. She's young. Everyone else sees them. Yeah, I knew I had read that. Something about that. Mother May I. Mother Special.
She wrote something else.
Mother Superior overhears this and calls Lorraine aside and tells her she's staying after school today to pray and that she shouldn't be talking about those kinds of things. So as a girl, Lorraine was nervous to tell people she had this ability. Even when she was 16 or 17 years old, she wouldn't even tell her parents. Then when she was about 21 or 22, she and Ed were married when she was 18. She started going to these places with Ed as he was getting really involved in checking out these hauntings. Lorraine was more of a spectator then, but one day that all changed. Where did you find all of this?
Apparently, she's just really good at searching the internet.
Do you have like a subscription to the deep dark web? Do you pay for that thing? Do I need to know about it? Because I cannot find anything. I feel like the next time we do a show, we should do a snack show because I'm hungry. Okay, right, fine. Why does that doll look like that?
I don't know. It looks ridiculous to me.
Right, like you wouldn't think that that doll would have the spirituals. But that's also like that other doll that we talked about from Miami. What's his name?
Robert.
Sir. He doesn't look like that kind too, but he does look a little more scary than.
Yeah, he definitely looks way more scarier than a Raggedy Ann doll.
I had a Raggedy Ann when I was a wee tot.
Me too.
And it was not scary to me. On one of their trips, Ed said, I'm going to bring a legitimate psychic with me. He goes in the house with Lorraine and this psychic he invited. They're walking around the house, talking to the family, and the psychic starts explaining what she feels is going on in the house. What happened at one point, Lorraine sips, stops Ed and says, that psychic is not telling the truth. She's not right. She's incorrect. Up to that point, Ed didn't even know his wife was a psychic. She didn't tell him. But mostly because she didn't think she was psychic at that point. So Ed says, what the heck are you talking about, Lorraine? She says, no, this is really what happened. And she explains to him what she thinks happened in the house. The wife of the family hears this and tells Ed, your wife is right. That psychic was way off base. That's when Ed first had the inkling that his wife had psychic ability from that encounter right there. Ed knew that was going to be invaluable going forward because now he could just ask Lorraine, Sips, is there a spirit here? And she'll know. That's how the team was formed. He studied devils and demons and haunted houses all his life. She was a natural psychic who developed more and more ability as she went on these cases. She became more and more attuned. It's like a cop goes on a burglary case for the first time. He's not attuned to anything or how to investigate it or anything, but you go on 1,000 cases, you start to be an expert. You get that ability, that sense. That's what happened to her. She naturally developed that ability by going on all these cases with him. That was the first peek at learning how she knew about her ability. That's crazy how she could just over time just to get it. Like,
yeah, like let me do that. Let me get that.
Right. Let me be able to peek. I just want to peek into the future and let me know what the winning lottery numbers are going to be, where hidden treasures are, and I will be the most giving of people. I will share with everyone. So just give me that ability.
I did know one time what the lottery numbers were going to be.
You did?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like the big lottery. It was the pick 3. After my grandfather died, the first Christmas that he wasn't there for, Christmas, by the way, was his favorite holiday. He came to me a few days before Christmas in my dream and told me what the lotto numbers were going to be. So I played them that night, and I think I want to say it was Christmas Eve that I played it. The numbers didn't come out. The numbers came out on Christmas Day.
What?
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me. I mean, I don't know if it was him coming to me or not, but that's what happened. I don't remember what the numbers were
Yeah.
in years, but I played them on the wrong day. It should have been Christmas Day.
How much did you lose? That's the question.
I think I only played like $1 or $5 or something like
I mean,
that.
if you had known the right, look at me holding these scissors at you like this. If you
Let
had
me
played
hold a
on
knife at you.
if you had played on Christmas, what would you have won?
Probably like $500 and times that by $5, probably like 2,500.
Well, as a child, that is a lot of dollars.
I wasn't
As
a
an adult,
child when he died. I was over 18. This
that's
happened
still
after ghost hunting, and that's when we quit ghost hunting because my grandfather died.
oh.
And we stopped like banding together and doing stuff. We just kind of like fell out of it.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's crazy. I've never had lotto numbers or anything. Numbers, I don't remember
Never
ever.
happened again since then. Wish it would.
I don't remember ever numbers. I remember when Andrew and I would do like things with his mom, like doing like seance, playing with the Ouija board and stuff. Like I remember words would pop in my head and I would just say the word that would come out. And like one time I remember the word Christmas. I said Christmas and she was trying to contact her friend. And I remember like I kept seeing the word Christmas in my head and something happened to where like he was found on like a street called Christmas, like in some part of Florida. Like I don't know what part it was. So maybe it was Celebration. Like there was a street called Christmas that I guess he was found. And I kept seeing that word flash in my head. So I mean, it happened before. So if we want to like reignite that with numbers so I can win a lotto, that would be amazing. Amazing. I have a little bit of information about Annabelle, that doll, but
If you want to talk about Annabelle, and then what's next? The haunting in Connecticut.
no, I didn't really have much information for that. Like that was what was so hard to find like genuine information about that one because everything I was reading was saying that it's like loosely based on the movie.
Okay,
Or that the
well,
movie
I watched Sarah Jesse Raphael, her interview with them.
I started that one and I was like, I cannot watch this.
I was getting pissed because they like filmed it, or they they recorded it from like probably like a satellite viewing from back like a while ago because it kept like stopping and pausing and going, and I thought something was wrong with my internet the whole entire time. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it was very annoying to get through. But
Her
that's
face,
where I learned that they were saying that they were lying about it and they were trying to make up for their rent that they were behind on, and they were just like, oh no, we weren't behind on rent, blah blah blah. And they were like, the landlord said you were behind on your rent, and
they were just back and forth about it. So did they determine if it was?
no, it never got, nothing got determined.
That was a
Like
waste.
Ed and Lorraine were on there too.
That
And there was a dude that I guess followed all of the cases that they did, and he was like, he was always trying to debunk them, I guess you could say. And he tried doing that with a lot of their cases. So he was there on Sarah, what is it, Sarah Jesse Raphael?
Yeah.
Is that what it is, or am I saying
Sally.
Sally.
Yeah. I knew who you meant. I knew. But yeah. I saw that one and I was like, I can't ever at least be Ricky Lake. I could have watched me some Ricky Lake, but some Sally, I can't ever. I can't
I never
ever.
watched Sally.
No. How old would we have been when Sally was out? 4, 5?
Yeah.
I remember
So
Ricky Lake being popular.
yeah.
And who was that other one? He's still on Jerry Springer before it got like real crazy.
He is going to be on his deathbed and still be on TV.
Probably. Jenny Jones. I do remember Jenny Jones. I do remember that. I remember Ricky Lake when she was fat and thin. I've been there for all the weights, Ricky. I support you, hunty. All the weights. And Jerry. Maury before he turned into J2. Maury Povich. Geraldo Rivera when he thought he was Captain Planet going all to the other countries. Sit down.
I don't remember him.
You do?
No, I don't.
You don't remember Geraldo Rivera and his mustache?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Greg is asking, so Ed and Lorraine only found the ghosts and would tell of their stories, or did they also do exorcisms, holy water to get rid of them? So I think they would call in a priest. Like, I know they have a priest.
Yeah, they did. They had a priest.
And they have one that goes in their museum, too, like every day. Like, he goes in there and blesses it every day.
I think it's some guy named Father Jim. The thing that I saw that somebody recorded them walking through the museum, and the person that was taking them through it, his name was Father Jim. So that's probably who.
That's probably what I watched. I remember seeing them, Ed and Lorraine, on a talk show, but it wasn't Sally Jesse. And I remember being interested in it when I was younger, but I don't feel like they were really in the media as much. Like, I remember hearing them on the radio, like, you know, those, like, paranormal shows and stuff that you could hear on, like, AM, and some of the talk shows, they would have them on there. I remember hearing them talk on, like,
I don't ever remember any of their stuff on TV.
Yeah, I feel like Poltergeist, I don't know. Let me find out. I know that they did deal with a case that had like a really bad poltergeist. I read that somewhere. But like that's what was so challenging about reading information about them. It's like bits and let me see. The Enfield poltergeist. Okay, so that's what I was talking about before with the Enfield one. I didn't read anything about that. It was, let me see. What the flip? The Enfield poltergeist. Okay, this one. In 1977, the Warrens investigated claims that a family in North London, a suburb of Enfield, was haunted by poltergeist activity. While a number of independent observers dismissed the incident as a hoax carried out by attention-hungry children, the Warrens were convinced that it was a case of demonic possession. The story was the inspiration for The Conjuring 2, although critics say the Warrens were involved to a far lesser degree than portrayed in the movie. So it wasn't the original movie, Poltergeist, had nothing to do with them, but they did deal with one. I didn't read anything crazy about the holy water.
No, I don't.
In 91, they encountered a demon that manifested itself as a werewolf.
Oh.
Supposedly.
That happens every day.
Yeah. Right. Misty got somebody outside her window. That is a creeper. Misty, you need to get that man. Get
It's
that
probably
man?
the guy that's been texting her.
Girl.
That or a raccoon. If it's a raccoon, get its skull for me. Thanks.
Here's another one for the Smurl family. Let me pull this one. The Smurl haunting refers to claims made by Jack and Janet Smurl of West Pittston, Pennsylvania, who alleged that a spirit inhabited their home between 1974 and 1989. The Smurls' claims gained a wide press attention and were investigated by Lorraine and Ed, who encouraged the family's supernatural beliefs, and clergy, psychologists, and scientific skeptics who offered more parsimonious explanations. That is a word, parsimonious.
I have never heard such a word.
That sounds like a Harry Potter spell. A parsimonious. Everybody, get out your wand. Parsimonious. The Smurls claimed that beginning in 1974, their double block home was disturbed by a spirit that caused loud noises and bad odors and threw their dog into a wall.
Well, that's not nice.
It shook their mattress, pushed one of their daughters down a flight of stairs, and physically and sexually assaulted Jack on several occasions. So that spirit was thirsty on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another thing about the haunting in Connecticut. They kept saying that they were getting sodomized on Sally Jesse.
Oh, what is it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the husband was like, "Yeah, I was sodomized that night."
I have a hard time with that. I'm not saying
Like,
that
imagining being an invisible entity entering your butthole. Yeah, I have a hard time with that too.
I have a very hard time with that. A very hard time with that. Like, I don't believe it. I don't. Yeah, we way lost track of the Lorraine shots. Take another one. Whoever. Didn't take track.
Greg wanted to know more about the werewolf.
The werewolf? Okay, the werewolf. Let's see what that one was. Apparently, they wrote a whole book about it.
Really?
Yeah. The South End werewolf, they call it. Let me see. All right, let me see here. Okay, so this one is perhaps one of their more unusual cases. The investigation took Ed and Lorraine out of the U.S. to a seaside town in Essex, England. There, a man by the name of Bill Ramsey was believed to be possessed by a demon that manifested as a wolf. Growing up, Ramsey was a normal, happy boy. One day, though, at a young age of 9, he suddenly began exhibiting inhuman qualities. Reportedly, while playing outside in his backyard, Ramsey felt a frigid cold overtake him, and his nostrils were overcome with an awful stench before he flew into a rage, uprooting a fence post, the fence was still attached, and gnawing on its wire meshing. Ramsey eventually grew up, he became a loving husband and father of 3, and was incident-free until the 60s. The early years of his marriage were plagued by nightmares, cold sweats, and waking up to the pants of a wild animal. What?
The what of a wild animal?
The pants.
Pants?
Pants, like panting, like a dog pants.
Oh.
Yeah, like he's thirsty or out of breath or whatever. So they must be saying that as if the wife were saying it. The early years of the marriage were plagued by nightmares, cold sweats, and waking up to the pants of a wild animal. So she must have been up to him, acting like crazy. He soon realized that the pants were coming from him, so maybe he realized it. Maybe he heard them himself. Anyway, in the 80s, he would repeatedly feel overcome by the sensations he had as a child while hanging out with friends, and even once while doing a citizen's arrest. At one point, he attacked a friend in a car on their way from a pub and manhandled a police officer in an intense altercation, and that happened on several occasions. In the midst of this, Ramsey spent several stints in the hospital, all featuring the same symptoms of rage: inhuman strength, bared teeth, growling, hunched shoulders, and hands curled like claws. In an interview with Ed and Lorraine about their experience with Ramsey, Ed stated that Ramsey would ask to be locked up in a jail cell for his protection and the protection of the public. When the Warrens got wind of his situation, they asked him to their Connecticut home, where Bishop Robert McKenna would perform a recorded exorcism on him. And that's really the only information that they go into, because they want you to buy the book.
Right. Well, it just sounds to me like the guy was just completely bonkers. And the werewolf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He must have been a fan of Wolverine. He was trying to get his claws. He couldn't help it. Like, I feel like that, I don't know.
Like, what if all these exorcism cases just needed to go to a psych ward?
That's what I'm saying. Like, back then, I mean, I know now we have a drug for everything, but what if that, I'm sure that's probably something like psychosis where you think you're an animal. Like, maybe you have that, like a schizophrenic, like Split, that movie Split, where he had like all those different personalities, like 39 of them. Patricia, did you watch that?
Split?
That was so good. You need to watch it. The guy, I don't remember the guy's name that did it, but he had 39 personalities. And for each personality, he would talk a different way, dress a different way, act a different way, like 39 people. Who's to say actually, I think one of them was an animal. I'm looking that up. I think one of them was an animal.
That they didn't, wait, what? That they did an exorcism on?
No. But I'm saying the whole point, how I'm connecting this, is that the guy, he had 39 different personalities. And we're saying back then they didn't probably have the technology and medication to really like help with schizophrenia. And I'm saying, if you can think you're another person, who's to say you couldn't think you were an animal? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Maybe the Ramsey dude really was just schizophrenic, but instead of taking on another person's personality, he took on a werewolf. And that's why he might have been acting like a psycho. 24 personalities, yeah.
24.
Glass, that other movie, Glass. I want to see that one. The Beast, yep, that's what it was. That personality, that's what I'm saying. So this one, because it happened so many moons ago, I think that's probably how, I think we just debunked this one. That was not a werewolf. That was schizophrenia. And persimmons. What was that word? It wasn't persimmons, it was something else. I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember. What? I can't remember, but it did sound like a Potter stone.
Parsimonious. That's what it was. So we can just parsimonious and on with our lives. And you should make a card that is for the parsimonious spell. And just getting my spurt together.
Did you pour yourself another glass of wine?
I did. I've been sipping on it with my Lorraines.
Do you just fill it with your Lorraines?
Do what?
It looks like you just spilt it because you look down like you spilt it.
I did not spill it on my Lorraines. The Warrens, Ed and Lorraine, here they are. I didn't spill my beverage on them.
Killing me.
Yeah, so There were quite a few different like stories that they talked about, but it seems like a lot of the people that these things happen to, they didn't really want to come forward and talk about it, which I get it. It's, traumatizing, but
Also, they want to sell the book.
exactly. They're trying to make a penny, which I get it. If you can make $1 selling your story, make $1 selling your story. Why the flip not? And it's parsimonious. I don't know what it means, but let's look it up because I feel like that's the best spell that Harry Potter never included in their books. J.K. Rowling, why did you not? Parsimonious. Unwilling to spend money or use resources. Stingy or frugal. So it's greedy. When you're greedy and you don't want to share, you're parsimonious.
All right, then.
The Warreens. I'm on the fence about them too. Like, I want to say that that's, I'm sure there are people that have, like, legit gifts. And I'm sure that, I think that you can be in tuned to different things like that. But I don't know. I think saying that all of the items in their, like, occult museum, to say that all of them have a spirit attached to them, I don't believe that.
Did you watch a video of them doing a tour through there?
I watched one or two. I watched a couple of them, actually.
It's ridiculous. It looks like some kind of oddities thrift store of like really crappy secondhand stuff.
It looks like the trailer that we went into that one time when we were in Titusville. That's what it probably is, that boy's trailer. That's what it looked like. But like what the guy was saying, like I guess the son-in-law who kind of like he has like ownership of all this stuff and he's like in charge of everything now. He was saying that they want to keep the spirit in the vessel instead of burning the item or discarding it and then letting it float to the oblivion and do whatever it's going to do to whoever else it wants to target. So I understand the idea of wanting to keep all these things in this whatever building if they are in fact haunted. However,
you would think walking in there, you would see shit just flying off the walls all the time, like just crazy shit just be happening in there.
That's what I'm saying. Like it would be, if it truly was, I think more would happen.
I feel like nothing would be staying still in there.
Unless that's what the priest does when he goes in there every day to bless it.
Maybe
keeping it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I think it's interesting, and their website, like the son-in-law has all kinds of like events and stuff that they do on the website, and they keep it active. I don't know. You said it was closed right now though for something?
Zoning issues.
Gotcha.
So probably they aren't supposed to have anything open to the public like that in their area because it's not commercial or whatever.
Yeah.
It's residential. So they're currently looking for a location.
To move everything to?
I guess so.
They better set that thing on all the fire.
Yeah.
Wherever are you going to move all that stuff, sir?
You know what was kind of silly to me? I saw a video of them first. I can't even remember what the reason was, but they moved the Annabelle doll from one spot to another, and they told the guy that as long as you don't touch it with your skin, you'll be fine.
Well, I was reading that Lorraine wouldn't look at its eyes. I don't remember why. Actually, I don't know if I ever read why, but she would not, refuse to look at it in its little button eyeballs for whatever reason. She just would not. Which dolls creep me out anyway. Sonny can't stand dolls. When Alice gets a new doll, he's like, that needs to go in a closet. anywhere. Sonny is about to get kicked out of this chat. Did you read the blasphemy that he just put in there?
Oh, Lord.
He's
No.
just being...
That man is so annoying. I stopped watching them after a few episodes. After the horse crap episode where they were playing horse shit at each other, that's when I stopped watching. On Hulu. Like, it's on the 8th season or something like that on Hulu. I'm just like, I can't watch any more of this. But I will say that one thing that they do with the Xbox Connect thing is pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah. You were talking about that last week.
Yeah.
I did see that idol thing. It was tall. Heather's talking about the idol they have in the thing, too. That was weird looking. And why he ever touched it and didn't just set it ablaze when he came across it is beyond me. Because
Oh, yeah. Like, it just looks like a giant humanoid creature.
Yeah.
F that whole entire thing right there.
Yeah. No thanks. Oh my Lord.
Well, it's past our bedtime.
Is it? What time is it?
11.
We are grandmas.
Grannies. You sipping with your grannies.
Yes, nighttime stories with Granny. Next week. Yes. Don't forget, everybody, that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the movie is coming out next week.
What's coming out on Netflix soon? Is it a new version of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
This monitor in front of me keeps shaking.
Ooh, spooky.
What about Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I thought they were remaking Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I think they are. I think they are remaking that, actually. But this other one, I know they brought it back to Netflix so you can watch all of them.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, girl, it's on Netflix.
I need to. Oh.
It's a TV series that they're booting. They're rebooting it.
But is it going to be on Netflix?
I think it's going to be on Sci-Fi.
I definitely don't have cable.
Me either. Let me see. It's coming out October 10th. And who is hosting it? Nickelodeon? It's going to be on Nickelodeon.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Since they did the original one, yeah. It's going to be a limited miniseries premiering October 10th of this year.
Oh.
It looks so good.
Gonna have to fire it.
But the Scary Stories, I can't believe you didn't read that as a kid. Like, I am genuinely sad about it. Did anybody else read?
Well, I hate reading, so.
Yeah, but that was...
If they had an audiobook of it back then, I would have.
You know they probably did. They had them books with Ziploc bags, the big Ziploc bags and the plastic handle, and then big old blue fuzzy headphones.
I don't remember. Now that you mention that. But the problem is I have to keep my hands moving. Like, I can't even sit here and just talk to you. I have to do stuff with my hands. I can't sit still anymore.
Well, I've just been casting spells as I go along with Parsimonious and every other Harry Potter spell. Leviosa.
And I'll make jewelry.
Yes.
I just can't. I have to do stuff.
Well, what are you making?
I have, right now I got butcher knives and cleavers
Nice.
that I'm turning into necklaces.
Nice. I like
Trying to
those.
get a whole bunch of stuff done for Halloween. And not even just Halloween, but like every day because that's just me.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like your little knives.
I like Clive Barker too, Heather. Like I don't read often, but
Who is that?
I do like the
Author?
book or the movies. Huh?
Who is Clive Barker? Who is that man?
Um, he did. Now everything just escapes me. Let me just bust the fresh ass Google because my brain just farted.
He is a horror and fantasy writer.
Yeah, he does scary stuff. He did
Oh, Hellraiser, the
yes,
Candyman.
Hellraiser was the biggest one that was my favorite back in the day. That was my main squeeze. Nightbreed was another one that I absolutely loved.
Who?
Nightbreed, and not very many people I guess have seen that because everybody anytime I ever talk about Nightbreed, nobody knows what I'm talking about. He did Candyman.
I don't know about that thing.
I think Nightbreed is on Netflix right now, so you should watch it.
He is a homosexual. Are his do talk about gay relationships because he is gay?
Oh, he did Underworld.
He is an openly gay horror writer, which is really unique. I know that
I feel like that's pretty unique. Like you don't really hear about stuff like that every day.
No, not at all. You hear, I mean, obviously there's gay authors, but I've never heard of a horror gay author. That's kind of cool. Pretty cool. I've never seen a Hellraiser. I've seen Underworld.
Really? I used to watch Hellraiser all the time. Like, okay, so in high school, Jen and I would have a sleepover like almost every weekend, and we would go to my local video store and we would rent like a horror movie, and if they had sequels, we'd rent those with them, and we just have like a marathon all weekend. And we would do that with like Hellraiser, Freddy Krueger. That was like one of the things that we did.
I didn't watch scary movies when I was younger like that. I read that book and
We weren't young. We were teens.
Yeah. I watched. My best to rent was Clueless. I rented Clueless all the days long. That was my best ever. And Everything by Pauly Shore. In the Army Now was my best. Biodome was my best. I just loved Pauly Shore. He was my best. But I never really watched horror. Like, I read books, but I never watched scary movies when I was, like, a teenager. I didn't watch them.
If you want to go and get Alice a look-alike outfit for Claire, or Cher, rather, Walmart right now has little plaid yellow skirts.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop. Are you serious?
I didn't get Amelia the yellow one because it wouldn't look right on her, but I got her the pink, the purple, and the red one, but they have a yellow one.
Oh my gosh. I need to get it for her. That is my best. I need to get her that. She would love that. She's so fancy in her skirts anyway. She'd probably pick it out. She loves yellow. But yeah. And actually, Target, I don't know if you've been to Target, like, in the junior section recently, but they have a lot of, like, 90s Clueless style clothes.
I have not been to Target in a hot minute because I'm poor.
Do they have them near you? I know you got Walmart up there, but...
Yeah, I got a Target near me. It's where that Aldi's is that you discovered when you were up here.
That's right. I'm rude. I apologize.
All right, so what are we talking about next week? Are we going to continue with Lorraine and Warren, or?
Lorraine and Ed Warren.
Had like a fifth, as they say.
Jawbreaker. We talked about that. Did we talk about that recently, or was I talking to Sunny? I
You're
think I was
probably talking to somebody else. But
It was
I
Sunny.
have seen that several times.
That movie was good, except for the part when Marilyn Manson was getting it on with that girl, and he looked like the nastiest trailer park I ever did see with that mustache. Me and Sonny were talking about that recently, and I made him watch that part. Yes, Sonny, we talked about that. And I made him watch that part because it grossed me out so bad. I'm like, I have to watch it because it grosses me out. Do you ever do that? Like, you have to watch it because it's so gross and you just have to?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I can't think of any specific thing at the moment, but.
Well, go on YouTube and look up the Marilyn Manson scene for Jawbreaker and just refresh your memory about him and that girl.
I mean, I feel like I don't need to because it's quite memorable.
I think that you need to, just so you can look at it and go.
I think what I just need to do is watch the full movie again because I like that movie.
It was a really good movie, but I feel like you should watch that clip first just to be grossed out, and then watch the movie, and then when it's over, watch that part again. And just remember him banging that girl to Rock You Like a Hurricane with his mustache like this and have a bucket to puke in. Because it was the nastiest. That is your homework, everybody. Go on YouTube and find, I'm going to pull up the link for all of you right now just so you can all watch it. Marilyn Manson and the chick and the song from Jawbreaker.
Oh, let me, while you're doing that, I need to find a winner for the giveaway that hardly anybody entered.
Yes.
So pickings are going to be slim. 2 seconds. Ow. Okay.
Oh, God. Oh my God. Just to bless all of you while she's doing that, here's the clip. Please save it to your favorites for any time you feel like you've eaten too much food and you want to barf, or anytime you really just want to throw up. You can just bless yourself with watching this clip of Marilyn Manson and his mustache.
Here we go. Carrie Cox is the winner of the $10 oddities cash. Whether or not she's watching, but hey, if you are, you win.
Yay!
Yay, Carrie!
But you can only redeem your cash if you watch this link that I'm providing. Just a disclaimer, you must and you must. Okay, I'm putting it here right now for everybody. Save it to your favorites. Oh. So next week we can continue on with Ed and Lorraine if you would like, or we can move on to North Carolina. What is your preference?
Do we have, like, if we have a few more stories for Ed and Lorraine that we haven't touched base on, then
they had a lot of cases. I just pulled like 6 that I could find, the biggest ones, but they have a lot of cases. And I'm sure if I put on my Angela Basham thinking cap, I will be able to find more down in the depths of the dark web about them.
If you can find something, then let's continue with Ed and Lorraine drinking game. And if not, then we move on. What was the next one? North Carolina?
Yeah. Yeah, North Carolina.
Then,
it might
if not, then we'll move on.
It might be a dead end. It might be, because it was kind of challenging. I mean, there's a lot of named cases that they've done, but finding information about them was pretty challenging. So we'll see. If I find something else.
They have everything in books, and they want you to read books.
Yeah.
I hate reading because I have to keep my hands moving. So if I have to keep my hands moving, I have to keep my eyes on my hands.
Yeah. All right, then we may be able to just scoot on over to North Carolina and see what we can find for that beloved.
We'll surprise y'all next week with what we do.
It'll be a surprise. And next week, bring a snack because I'm hungry. This is me telling you in advance, I'm hungry and I want a snack, so bring some to share with the class. That way, when I'm snacking next week, I won't feel guilty for snacking.
Next time I'll bring something because like 20 minutes before we started, I had double roasted nuts. So next week I'll do that. I'll bring some double roasted nuts to munch on and annoy the viewers with the crunching sound.
I have pumpkin seeds. I will bring them along and just spit them throughout the house. Spit them around.
Oh God. This was fun.
You have to watch it. Watch that link. I know it's haunting you. It's scarier than everything we've discussed with everything tonight.
I'll have to scroll up.
Yeah. So before we leave for the night, do you have any last words, Jason Momoa? Do you have any last words for anybody, sir?
This is our mascot.
We have two of them. This is the mascot of Florida.
This is Paranorman. He was $5 at a flea market. Well spent.
And this was a free from my sister because his legs fell off. So guess how he is legless and lovely.
Wait. Which one's so gross, Angela? My Paranorman ain't gross. Very
no, they're talking about
oh, Manson
and his grease.
Yeah.
His grease and his mustache. It's just ugh. I can't.
Yeah, because that's why he's in that movie, because he was dating that one chick.
Oh, Ellen. Aren't they married? I think they're married.
I don't know if they are, but they were together at the time.
I feel like they got married.
That's a tidbit that I actually remember for some reason. That's kind of weird. Weird thing to remember.
I'm about to tell you right now. I feel like they were married. Oh no, she's no longer married to him or with him. It's some man named Davey Detail, and he looks like Marilyn Manson in that movie. He just doesn't have long hair, but he has. That must have been her best time of her life. Yes, bae, yes. Because this new star looks like him. If he had long hair, it would be Marilyn Manson with that grease.
Let me see.
She said, that is bae. Davey Detail. Honey, he gross.
Why am I not seeing this man?
I typed in Rose McGowan's husband, and his face popped up. And I wish that it had not. Who is Marilyn Manson married to at this time? We need to find out. Oh, Dita Von Teese. I forgot they were together. That's right. He was with Rose McGowan at some time.
All right, so next week we may continue with Ed and Lorraine. Or we might go on to North Carolina and keep going up, up, up until Crystal comes up here into New York.
Yeah.
Is that really happening? Are we doing this?
Yeah. And I'm bringing him as a passenger. He is coming in the carry-on with me.
So Crystal is going to come up to New York, where I'm at, in the Hudson Valley area. And we're going to look for certain things to go live at, like some ghost tours that are around here and some haunted places.
And I feel like we should also take one day to go get pizza in the city. If we can squeeze.
We could. We don't have to go far for good pizza.
But isn't it more delicious in the city just because it's in the city and you can smell like poop on every corner
I
from
mean,
the house?
that's a whole day to blow in the city, unless that's what. If you want to do that, that's cool. We could do that. But then that leaves us with only one day with doing the haunted stuff.
But don't you want to smell homeless poop?
Not really.
It's part of the.
In my old age, I'm just over the city life.
I am not. I am most certainly not. I love it so. It blesses my entire spirit, and I just
I mean,
walk
if you
through
want
the.
to do that, then let's do it. But instead of if we go get pizza, then I want ramen.
We need to go to
If we're gonna
Chelsea.
do that, then we have to get ramen too.
Okay, deal. We don't have to go to. I don't care about Times Square. I just want to go to Chelsea. Go to Chelsea for a day. Get my pizza.
If if
Jake.
we're gonna do this and go to the city too, we have to find something haunted there too. Then.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of
And
stuff. That city's old.
oh,
And
I'm
so
sure,
many people.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So
We'll make
we'll
it.
go to the city for one day and then do some live stuff and take the train back.
Yeah.
And then there's those few, huh?
Shirley wants to come with us to the city, and Greg thinks we should buy a haunted box and unbox it. Gregory.
We'll have to do that when we're together live so that we're both haunted at the same time.
So that way we can open it in Donna's house, so that way it stays in her house. And the spirit will fly into Paranorman, and then he will jump off walls and jump in your hair. That can't ever be in my house. Nope. Not in this particular house. I will parsimonious you back where you came from. Parsimonious. Flick and swish. Goodbye.
Whew.
Goodbye.
All right.
We are yawning.
Grannies.
Grannies. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to join our fun little activities this evening, and we will see you next Saturday if you decide to come play, and we will talk about new North Carolina haunts.
Something like that. All right. Disconnecting. Love you. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
I figure out how to end this. How do I stop it?